This conference will now be recorded.
So, very good morning, everyone. I believe everyone would have installed the Visual Studio Code. Everyone would have started creating basic Lightning Web Components. Because today, we will go from basic to little bit of advanced, we will try to go. Right? And tomorrow onwards, your class would be completely advanced level classes, just to keep you updated. Now, a very quick recap what we did in the last class. In the last class, we have seen how to go ahead and set up this whole Lightning Web Component environment. We have gone ahead and created Lightning Web Component. We have been talking about ECMA recommendations, right? A Lightning Web Component consists of, right? What are the ECMA standard it needs to follow, right? Shadow DOM, ES module, right? Custom components. So here we have seen all these are been implemented with Lightning Web Component bundle. We have seen the bundle element. Then we went ahead and we created some basic Lightning components, basic Lightning Web components. Something like, my first Lightning Web component, right? Hi guys, this is first LWC. Then we started with data types. We have gone ahead and we have seen how do you declare a primitive data type like name, salary, employee ID, decimal, number, decimal, string. Then we have gone ahead to see how can we go ahead and declare a collection data type. Here we go. How can you go ahead and declare a collection data type, an array? List set maps are not supported here because they are Salesforce specific data type. Map is a Salesforce specified. LWC is a neutral platform. Hence, here it is array supported, array. We have seen that. Then we went ahead and create CSS, how to apply style. We were looking on it, right? You can see that certain Lightning web component doesn't support style. They don't support styles. Officially, they don't support style. If you go to the official documentation, you will not see a style or a class command, right? You will not be able to see a class equals to my button. There is no support of class we have seen, right? So in other words, officially LWC doesn't support any type of CSS, and that is the reason whenever you create a Lightning Web component, CSS doesn't come. CSS doesn't come by default. We created manually. The CSS file, you can see that in the last class, I created manually and forcefully, right? Does it work? Yes, for certain extent it works. Like HTML coloring, it works. Like a background. If you put a HTML button, it'll work, right? It'll go ahead and it'll give you the background borders and everything. For those, it works. But when you try to color an LWC, component, then it doesn't work because LWC component officially doesn't support any CSS as of now, as of today, right? LWC is still in a development. Maybe tomorrow it will support, but as of today, it doesn't support. Remember this very well. Last class, I believe that we have been trying to go ahead and insert, right? In the component, we were trying to go ahead and display what even an image, but looks like that the system was not taking the image. Fine, because all these are not yet been available in Lightning Web Component. Remember that it is still in a development stage. Lightning Web Components are not 100% developed as of today. They are still in a development stage. In real time, whichever component is available in LWC, we create in LWC, or else we create Aura component. Now, the first thing that today we are going to start is public. From here, I'm starting the class. Control-Shift-P. Let me go ahead and see first, right? Why it's still not activated. Control-Shift-P. Right? I will say authorize an org. Right? Let me authorize an org. The first thing, meantime, authorization of org goes on. Start writing. LWC public variable. Whatever the variables that we have declared till today was private. variable available only to particular LWC component. You cannot use this variable anywhere. But now the first thing that we are going to start today is called as LWC public declaration or public variable. Very good. Control Shift P, authorize an org. See, wait. Initialization didn't happen, so let it initialize. Meantime, keep writing LWC public variable. Write down LWC variable accessible to another LWC component. LWC variable accessible to another LWC component is called LWC public variables. LWC public variables. Right? Now, point number one. Point number one. Right? Right? Point number one. Import API. Import API to declare a public variable. Import API to declare. Import API to declare. Import API to declare public variable. Next point. @API decorator. @API decorator. @API decorator must be used. @API decorator must be used. @API decorator must be used for the declared variable. Right? Control Shift P. Let me go ahead and now authorize an org. Shouldn't be giving an error because I got the VS Code org there. Right? I'll set production URL. Enter. I'm waiting for my authorization command to run. So other than waiting, there is no other option. Once it is done, then I'll start creating with a public API. Meantime, yes.
I mean, have you discussed how we'll execute the code in the Visual Code?
No, code cannot be executed in the Visual Code.
Okay, is it like we'll check in the sandbox again?
Yes, you have to. You cannot execute it from the Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
It is only for writing. You cannot execute anything from Visual Studio Code.
So this is here we are only writing if we connect it to the sandbox, these changes will be reflected in our classes
Correct.
or components there, and we'll execute it from there. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's correct.
Rupa,
Yes.
how to fetch the whatever sandbox Apex classes, Visual Force page objects and everything? How to we can fetch? Is there any specific command?
I'll show you. Yes, we have. By the way, this is the command. Actually, once upon a time, we used to write this command in the command prompt. SFDX, force, auth, web login, right? Set alias, VS code, instance, login dot. There it's used to say test.salesforce.com if it's a sandbox, right? We used to do that, right? So yes, we used to, right? How to fetch the data, right, from the sandbox and everything, it will be done in the deployment class in your, right, regular class, which is starting from your 7th. That time I will show you how to fetch it through a Visual Studio Code. All the org, classes, triggers, Visual Force pages. So when time comes, you will get it automatically. It's not only you who have to show, I have to show it to, right, the whole class, including non-lightning class also. right? Because Visual Studio Code is not only used for LWC, they can be also used for writing classes, for writing triggers. So there I'll show you, not in this class. So stand by, relax. From 7th onwards, these all will start. Perfect. I'm still waiting for this command to get executed. See, I told you, most of the time in LWC class is just, waiting, especially for the starting when authorization happens. Otherwise, should be fast. Anybody has any other questions? Any other questions?
Rupam, not a question like, will you tell all those things from 7th? 7th is like Monday, right?
Correct.
So are you
All
telling
the
them in the
deployments.
Sorry?
No, didn't we have didn't we do the project classes for you guys? We did, right?
Yes, but I
So in the
haven't
project
seen
classes,
the VS Code there when you talked
why?
about the project classes.
We had a Visual Studio
No?
download and upload? Sure.
Yes, Rupam, in project class, you have only talked about the project. You
No.
told
And
about the org and all, but
I've shown you Ant deployment, did I?
yes, Rupam.
Then did I show you the workbench deployment?
Yeah,
After
Yes.
workbench, I came to Visual Studio. I should. How can I skip that? I came to the Visual
I don't
Studio.
remember installing Visual Code before this classes. Like before Lightning, I haven't seen the Visual Code.
Others, those who were there in that class. Yes or no? Did we?
Just you explain Visual Studio Code.
Yes.
That's it. What is what and all you explained. We didn't
How to
install.
download? We didn't install. I
Yeah.
told you to install. Did I show you how to download and upload? How to download?
No.
How to authorize an org?
No, Rupam.
No, Ruben.
No. Okay.
Like you haven't showed how to retrieve data from the source org and all these things you haven't showed. Like you
Then
have
you guys would
showed
have.
us how to
That's okay.
download
That's okay.
in the
That's okay.
starting.
Then you should have immediately told me. Maybe I forgot that. Saying that, okay, we download the Visual Studio Code, but what was the use of Visual Studio Code? Because in every deployment class, there are 4 ways we deploy. Number 1, through, okay, let me first enter this, otherwise it'll get timeout. Rupam @ LT 120, what is that? 123, right? 123.com, password CRM1234, hash LT 123, that's correct? Okay, verification code has been sent. So login dot, let me say log, oh no, gmail.com. So there are 4 ways to do deployment. Number 1, using Ant. Number 2, with Workbench. Number 3, with Visual Studio Code. Number 4, with chain set. Number 5, with packaging. So if I had not shown the Visual Studio Code, then it should have immediately asked, Rupam, can you show the deployment using a Visual Studio Code? You should have asked that time. Maybe might have ran away. I thought that maybe I have covered that. Yeah, fine. If it's not done, then I'll show you in this class. No issues at all. It's not a big deal. Before we start this, see, press enter. I'm getting OAuth approval error. Enter. Again, see, this type of error keeps on coming. The drawback of using Visual Studio Code. Now you can see. See, you will get these type of errors. A lot of things will come. That is the reason there are many companies who go by developer console. Visual Studio Code is sometimes just act as a fancy tool, right? like a fancy ID development tool. I'm trying to authorize, if but then again I have to run the command. Again, it will take another 5 minutes for it to authorize. No, see, I'm nowhere now. Oh, error. Close, cancel, Control Shift P, authorize an org. Other than waiting, there is no other option. Anyone has any other doubts? Anyone has any other questions? Till the time we wait for this authorization to happen.
In public variables only we can use the @API.
Yes, you have to use only at the rate API. Otherwise, you cannot make a variable public. It becomes a private. Right? Any other questions?
Rupam, I have one more question. Like, there are two. One will retrieve the source code from the org, right? So that will get all the classes, triggers, everything to our local. And there is other option like we'll clone the repository. So even at that time, we'll get all the classes and all. What is the difference between two?
No difference. Clone repository will happen at a server level where you're cloning the repository. When you retrieve, it makes a copy in a local machine. So
when we clone also, it makes a copy in our local machine, right?
Yes, but there's no difference. I'm telling you, no, absolutely there is no difference. Right? In clone, complete everything get downloaded. When you retrieve, you have an option to select what you want to download. That's the only difference.
Okay,
Usable,
we can
edit, non-selectable.
Sorry.
Yes.
We can edit the code in anything, either the clone repository or in the.
Yes.
Okay.
You can edit any component, any elements. It can be changeable. You can do that. So there we go. Come on. Half of the time is going in this only. Why it's taking so much time? Seriously. See. Okay. Rupam. You can't type anything. So wait, you Rupam @LT123.com, password CRM1234#. Press enter. Hope that this time the authorization goes well. Again, a verification code. Go back. Verify your Salesforce. 6 minutes ago. No, not the 6 minute ago one. And what happened? Why my verification code not been received? Reload. There we go. Come on, why everything is so slow? Authorization code 1 minute ago. Control C. Come here. Paste it. Verify.
Sir, can you explain entitlement and escalation rules?
Or not on this class. You should have asked there, right? In the regular classes. What is an escalation rule? Whenever somebody wants to escalate based on some criteria, automatically it has to be assigned to someone, some other user. Then it's called escalation rule. Any type of privileges they want to assign, then we call it as an entitlement rule. Right?
Okay. Means can you like elaborate it? I didn't get what you said.
I know that, but not on this class, right? This is an LWC class.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
class has its own, right?
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay. It's still trying to receive the authorization. Looks like this time the authorization through. Finally, we are through. Now, how to retrieve the information? Let's start with it because this is the second time I'm hearing, right? So let's go ahead and see. Whenever you want to retrieve a data, whenever you created an Apex class or you have created an Apex program, right? Then, right, for example, in this, right, we have a lot of classes created. You will click on this icon called org browser. Quite simple, no rocket science, no programming command. Click on org browser. Org browser will retrieve all your data. When I say data, that includes your Apex classes, triggers, pages, objects, right? Communication template, rules, right? Permission sets, whatever you have done, everything will be retrieved or it can be shown in this org browser metadata. Here we go. Apex classes. Whatever you want to download whole class, there's a download button. You want to download a specific class, click on it, click on download. See, it's downloading. This is how you retrieve the data. This is how you retrieve. What do you want to do? Approval rule, if you have created approval process. Every component, Aura components, if you remember that, we have created so many Aura components. See, all these Aura components can be downloaded. LC, see, the list. You want to download everything? Download everything. Then click on this arrow called download. I want to download only certain elements, then go ahead and download certain elements. Example 1, create, see, download. It's downloading. Server side controller, download, application. Whatever you want to download, you can put this arrow.
If I want to
These
download
guys,
entire organization, sorry.
right? If somebody wants to download entire organization, right? Complete organization backup you want to take, then there are two ways. One is to clone the repository, right? For that, you have to enable DevHub. DevHub. There's a separate process called DevHub, right? There you can go ahead and you can clone the repository. In that case, once you enable the dev hub, right, the repository, the code repository takes place, and then you can download. Because dev hub is not activated here, so I'm not able to download. I have to go ahead with now only one by one like this, whichever you want to download, right? How to activate a dev hub, that I will show in the next class, right? When we'll show the scratch org and everything, that time I will show you what is a dev hub, what is a GitHub, right? The same thing, the way you have a GitHub, GitHub, same way Salesforce has a code repository called as dev hub, right? So if you put them in a dev hub, then you can go ahead and you can copy the whole repository. You can, right? So as of now, you have flows, download, layouts, download, letterheads. If you have created any letterheads, everything will be there here. Complete list. Once you download, you go to the org explorer, you would be able to see them here. Under the triggers, if you have downloaded. No, Rupam, I have downloaded Aura. So whatever you have downloaded, see, it will be available here. LA, Lightning application I downloaded, right? See, you want to customize, we can customize from here, see. You can go ahead and you can customize. You can go ahead and you can customize from here, right? This is how you work. You can create a class. For example, I downloaded a class just now. So here we go, the Apex class, CLS. You want to make a change to this class, you can make a change, and again you can push. So whatever you want to change, you can make a change.
Can we push it directly from the Visual Code?
Yes. Otherwise, why? What is the function? That is what we are doing, right? In the LWC also we did the same thing. Account creation failed with the following error, right? Account creation failed with following error. I'm making change. Control S, Control Shift P, right? Push it. Directly you can push it from here. Deploy it to the source org. Press enter. It's been pushed. You download, make a change, push. You create, push. Done. See? You make
How
a
to
change.
push? Sorry, can you repeat? How to push?
Control Shift P, the way we have been pushing the Lightning Web Component command, guys. Last week, didn't I push the command?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
we
same
did.
thing.
Deploy
The
to
same
this.
thing. Deploy to the source org. Over. Download it. Go to the org browser. Download whatever you want. Right? Go to the org browser. Download whichever class you want. Apex class, whichever Aura component you want to modify. Right? Download it. Push it again. Aura components. Let's go ahead. Take anything. Right? Here it is LA. I don't know which one is that. So download. Right? Lightning layout. Right? Why all LA? Where is all LC? LC here. So go ahead. Search account. Download. Right? Lightning layout. Download. Right? I'm downloading whatever I want. Account creation. Download. Account display. Download. Done. When it's downloaded, come here. Now come to the Aura component. You'll be able to mute. There's a lot of disturbance. If you're not speaking, mute. Click on. Right? Here you'll be able to see component. Here we go. Lightning component. Make a change. Standard : contacts. Go ahead. Declare one more attribute. Light Aura. ATTRIBUT Aura attribute. Name equals to Rupam. Attribute name type equals to decimal. Right? Control S on the keyboard. Control Shift P. Deploy to the source org. Press enter. Right? Perfect. You made the change and it has been now pushed to the environment. As simple as that. No rocket science. Right? Perfect. See? So you can start doing anything, whatever you want now with the Visual Studio Code. Right? Anybody has any questions? Right? You go ahead and write one more method, right? After this, public public void, right? ABC. Go ahead.
Rupam,
Yes.
I have one more question. Like if someone has did some changes in the in their sandboxes, so we have already downloaded this here, right? So how will we
Refresh. Then in that case, if somebody has already downloaded, for example, right, there is a reload command is there, right? When you right click on this component, right, in the org browser, right click on the component, you'll have an option to refresh it. Yes. Wait, my right click is coming up. Explore this out. Basic
so
things,
it's
ma'am.
like we need to do it every class each time, or is there any option to get the latest sandbox?
Folder. No, there is no way. How the system will understand whether you want to get it, you want to overwrite, you don't want to overwrite, right? It's not artificial intelligence that it can read the mind. Somebody wants that the data to be overwritten. Somebody says, why this data was overwritten? So system doesn't. Right.
So in the branch, sometimes I'm getting 4K changes, and also what do I need to do with that? So there is a branch option at third from the top, right? Yeah, I think that is the branch. So I have already cloned the repository, and when I open
you have which repository you have closed, Git or dev?
I have cloned the master repository from Bitbucket.
No, that is what it is. You should know what is the repository your company is using. When you say repository, what code repository is your company is using? You should be knowing that. Whether we are using a GitLab, GitHub.
Sorry, Rupam.
You have to know where the repository, which repository you're using. You should be knowing that.
We are using the developer repository.
DevHub. Is it the DevHub?
I mean, like there are repositories like master, development repository, SIT repository, and also.
Those are the name of the repository, ma'am.
Okay.
Those are not repository. You don't know where the repository is. Those are the folders that were created. The way I created a folder called LWC 23. I created a repository called as LW23 at my local machine.
Yeah, there is a repository for my project named as HOJ. So I have cloned that repository completely. So
how did you clone it? How did you clone it? Tell me
so
that.
here there is a clone option. Like when you click on Control Shift P, there is a clone option. So in that clone, I have entered the URL of my Bitbucket. My
URL is what? It's a GitLab URL or it's a Salesforce URL?
The URL is from the Bitbucket. It is HTTP, like Salesforce, HOJ, and all.
Okay, so it's an H4. So it's a DevHub repository then. See, you can clone from a GitHub repository also. All these are link based, right? Repository can be anywhere. Your code, master code control can be anywhere, right? So that is the reason I'm trying to understand whether you are downloading it from GitLab or your repository is in GitLab or your repository in DevHub, right? So if you can read the link, it will clearly show you the link that where this repository is. That link is the place where the repository is lying, right? So once you refresh this, right? Once you download the command and you go back, you want to refresh a component. So you can right click on it and it will have an option, see? Right, different file against the org or retrieve from the source again. Again, you retrieve from the source. Or, right, diff file against the source. What is the difference in the version? It will give you deploy to the source or generate a manifest file so that you can go ahead and you can further use it for it's a full-fledged individual program to be deployed in another environment. You can download. So here is the option. When you right click on it, you get a complete option there. Same way, when you right click on the class, you get the same option. That means the whole class can be refreshed. If there are 20 classes you have downloaded, for example, Aura, and the Aura I'm right clicking. See, there you will have an option. Retrieve from the source org. That means all the components that is there, if there is any changes, it will download from the source org. It will.
Okay, Rupam, thank you.
Okay. Anyone has any questions? Anybody has any questions? Perfect. Now let's come back to the class. Right? The first thing that today we are going to see is that how to declare a variable as a public. Control Shift P, right? Create a Lightning Web Component. LWC underscore 2602 underscore example1 underscore public var. Public var. I'm creating a Lightning Web Component, right? There we go. This is my ES module. That's a place where I write my Java controllers, my JavaScript controllers, right? I have declared a something called as name, right? A variable. Name equals to, I am declaring a variable called as, I am declaring a data called Rupam. This is a private variable. Nobody can override this name. No other component can override this name. No, I want this name to be displayed in my screen. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to the template, and here I'm simply displaying your name. What is your name? Right? Name. Make sure that whatever, if you have used the caps, it's a case sensitive. So name. I've just put simple one component here because I'm going at a very low level at this moment. Fine. This is a private. Nobody can change it. What does that mean, Rupam? Let me create one more Lightning Web Component. Right? Create a Lightning Web Component. LWC underscore 2602 underscore example1 underscore, right? PUBLIC public var use. Public var use. I'm creating one more Lightning Web Component. In that, right, I'm in the var use. I go ahead and I call my previous Lightning Web Component. C dash. Always, whenever you want to call another component, you have to use C dash. What is the component name? Here is the component name. Right click, rename, copy. I come here, and if I say paste, right, like this, my component has been called. Whatever the component that I created called public var, I'm calling it in public var use. Here, I will say, what is that? Name. There is a variable. Name equals to Ravi. Name equals to Ravi. Name equals to Ravi. Control S. Now, right, let me go ahead and deploy both the components. One is the public, right? One the public var and another is the use. Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. This is the base, the child component. I'm deploying now. Next, I go to the parent component. Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. Use is the parent component. Now I right click on the use. I rename it. I copy it. I go to my right Salesforce login. I say login with a different user, Rupam @ lt123.com, password crm1234 hash. I'm logging into my Salesforce. Right, close. Let me log in. I click on setup. I click on developer console. There we go. My developer console is coming up. Now, I open the dummy app, which is already open. I remove the earlier component and I paste today's component. Public var use. Control S on the keyboard. I click on preview. Now, what I'm getting? I'll be getting your name is Rupam. Even though if you go and observe, I passed name Ravi, but you cannot override this public var. Public var, right? Public var is declared to Rupam, but you're trying to override this component variable from the parent using name Ravi. It's not overriding because it's a private variable. If you don't declare anything, it's a private. Whenever you want to make this variable as public, that means other components can pass it. Then first thing is that import, comma, L, right? Import, comma, API. Import API, first step. Then use an annotation called @API. That's it, over. Whenever you use @API in front of a variable, that variable becomes a public variable. That means any other component can now override it. See, the default label is Rupam, the value in the variable. When you're calling this component in a parent component called use, there I'm passing name, the variable name as Ravi, right? Now, if I go and deploy it, Control Shift P, deploy this as a source org. As I didn't made any change in the parent, I don't need to deploy that. Next time when I refresh this, it'll not show Rupam, it'll now show Ravi. It'll now show Ravi because it can override. See, it was earlier, it was showing Rupam only. Now I made it API. Whenever you make it as an API, it treats it as a public variable. A variable can be declared public and can be passed from a parent class. Whenever you say @API. What is this @API? It is a decorator. What is a decorator? That we will see in tomorrow's class. What is a decorator? What are the different types of decorators available? What is the decorator structure, right? All these things we will see tomorrow, right? So now just remember that API, if you use this keyword @API annotation, then automatically it makes a variable as public. You can see decorator to mark public reactive property. Decorator to mark public reactive property to make it as a public. Everybody clear? Anybody has any questions before I move to the next basic? Last basic, and then I will get to the LDS. Right. Next. Rupam, can we use getters and setters, get sets? Can we use get set? Yes, you can use get set also. Control Shift P, create a Lightning Web component, right? LWC underscore 2602 underscore example2 underscore get set. Get set. Get set. What is this? I'm in my Java module, ES class. By the way, I don't need this much big of this much is enough for my execution of my commands. Okay. Rupam, get. You have to use a word called get. Get. Get what? Get ACC name. I'm using a get ACC name. Like this you have to write. Whenever you say get, you have to put return. RETUR and return equals to Kaya Motors. Equals to Kaya Motors. Next, get. Case sensitive. Get. Get. What is that? Get. Right? ACC phone. ACC phone. Then in that case, you will go ahead. You will say return. Return. Return what? Return some number. Semicolon. Semicolon. Right? Return equals to. Not equals to. direct return, y equals to, right, return, right, return, get ACC name, return, Kaya Motors, get ACC phone, return, right, R small, remember that is the reason system is giving error, R small, case sensitive, return. It's not like Apex that you'll write capless. Done. Save. Now I will go ahead and I'll use this variable here. What is that? Account name. I'm not using card and wasting time here. You know that. ACCOUNT, account name. What is that? Variable. Here, you will use like a variable. Here is a variable, ACC name. You can use like this. Then there is a paragraph tag, right? Paragraph tag. Here, ACC OUNT account phone. You can use them, right? What was the variable that you declared? I declared ACC phone. ACC phone, Control S. Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. Done. Right. Now I'll copy the name, right click, rename. I copy the name. I go to my developer console, Control S, and I click on update preview. See, Kaya Motors 7998. You got the data there. You got the data there. Got it, guys? Right, everyone? Shall we go ahead further?
Yes.
Perfect. Now
It's a
today,
get
right?
private, public, something like we can use this
Public,
method in component.
you can use not only in this component. Whenever you say public, the data can be assigned outside. From an outside also you can assign.
Okay.
Right?
Now
From an
asking
outside also
about
you can assign.
this get is some. Can I change the name in another component with the same method?
Right? You cannot because it's a private now. That is a private. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you cannot assign it. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Right. Now let's open a notepad. Now we will start LDS, LWC LDS. Out of that, couple of them you know very well. So I will be very fast on that. Right? Whichever is different, then only we will look on it. So LWC, how the LDS works in LWC differently. LWC LDS. As usual, there are two ways. Number one, form based LDS. Number two, programming based. In the form based, you know what is the one? First one. In the form based, what is that? Lightning, record, view form, if you remember, right? LIDHTNING. Lightning, record, view form, right? Lightning, record, view form, right? Everyone knows this. We have did that in the past, right? Form. Next, whenever it's edit, Control C. Second one, B, lightning, record, edit form. Edit form. Third one, C. What is that? Lightning, record form. Total there are three, which we have did in the Aura also. Edit, lightning, record form. Along with lightning view form, we use lightning. What do we use? View form, lightning output field, lightning OUT PUT, output field, right? It's a read only. Whenever it's edit form, what we use? Lightning, right? Input field. Whenever you're using this one, with record form, we don't use anything. This concept is same as your lightning aura. No change at all. However, from here it's change. Here you have, right, imperation. Imperation. There are two ways programming based LDS. One is, right, with decorators, right? Decorator, which is nothing but a wire, decorator, wire decorator. Also used for get. It's a wire decorator, right? Second one, you have imperation. This is from where it's changing. In imperation, we have 4 methods. What is that? Get record, B, create record, CREAT, create record, C, right, update record, D, delete record. Create record, right, delete record, update record. We have this. These are the 4 imperative or imperation available. Those who are copying it, take as a notes. If you want to write down, write down. Lightning LWC is, right, can be done in 2 ways. There are 2 types of LWC. LDS, form based, programming based. Form based remains same as your aura, no change at all. Programming based has 2, decorator with imperation. With decorator, you have only wire to get the data. With imperation, you have get record, create record, update record, delete record. These are the methods which are available. We call them as imperative methods or imperation. Now, tomorrow we will see this. If time permits, I don't think so, but if time permits, at least I will show you this today. Let's say that. We'll try to close this so that tomorrow we complete this imperation. So first, form based, right? Let me do quickly. Do you want me to do it, or do you feel that, okay, no, not required, Rupam? We already did it in the lightning classes. We don't need it in LWC. Or you say that, show me one quick example. Choice is yours. Make it fast.
Quick example.
Can you show me one quick example, please?
Control-C, definitely, then fine. Create a lightning web component, LWC underscore, right? Today's date, 26/02 underscore, example 3 underscore, LDS forms, LDS forms. I press enter. I come here, right? Quickly, I will try to show where is my LDS form. Okay, here we go. LDS forms. Lightning card. I'm taking a lightning card. Title equals to LWC LDS form based. Right? I press enter. Right? Here. First thing I'm going to use star. I'm showing everything in a single one. Okay. Lightning LIGHTNING. Lightning LIGHTNING. Lightning. The first one is your RECORD record, VIED view, right? FORM. Actually, there's no space, but I'm giving a space here. Lightning record view form. How to use it? There we go. LIGHTNING Lightning. RECORD record view form. Lightning record view form. There we go. Here I'll put a paragraph tag so that One paragraph got created. After that also, I want to put a paragraph tag. Right, there we go. Lightning record view form. This is the way we do it. What we put here, right? Inside the record form, there are certain fields mandatory. Number one, RECORD record ID. Record ID equals to, I don't want my ID to be hard coded. If I put my ID hard coded here, for example, I go to my account, right? Let's find any account here. We can hard code it, but we don't want to hard code. That is the place where I'll use API. Why I showed you API? What is the use of that public variable? Now it is the requirement. Because you want to display an account. Which account? If you hard code the account ID, every time system will display that account. I don't want to hard code the ID. Wait, let me show you. There we go. Let me go to the account. Let me pick up any account as of now. Right, system is trying to display a lot of account. I open this Grand Hotel and Resort. I copy the ID from the address bar, top, Control C. I come to my Lightning Web Component. I say ID equals to hardcode. API object name, API, right? API object API name, sorry, not API object name, object API name equals to account, right? Equals to account. Done. Inside this, I'll be using Lightning. INPUT input, right? Inside this, Lightning input. Field name, FIELD, field dash name, field name equals to name, field name equals to name, right? Like this, how many inputs you want? I want a couple of inputs. Phone, fax, right? Industry, right? There we go. Over, Control S, Control Shift P, right? Deploy to the source org. My deployment command is running. Meantime, right click, rename, copy the name, come to the developer console, paste the name, Control S, click on preview. Immediately you'll see that an input form will come with Burlington Textile, right? Oh, what happened? My form has come, but my data, something is wrong somewhere. Let's check it out. Spelling is correct, right? I've taken what? View form. For a view, not input, it's output. Come on, guys. For a view, it's not an input. View is Lightning output field, right? Lightning output. We should always use not input, we should use Lightning output. Okay, let me write it. LIGHTNING, Lightning, OUT, PUT, output field, right? Lightning output field. Field name equals to name. Because this is a view form. With a view form, it is always output. With an edit form, then only you will say Lightning input. Now I'll say name, phone, fax, industry. Control S on the keyboard, Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. Come here, refresh. Now you'll be able to see all the account details is put there. See, Grand Hotel and Resort. Grand Hotel and Resort. Because you have hard coded the value. I don't want to hard code the value. Record ID. Then in that case, use exclamation use RECORD record ID. Whenever you're using this, right, it is you are declaring a variable, record ID. Record ID is a variable, right? come here, Control C, Control S on the keyboard, come to the Java controller, the ES module. Now declare that variable. Record ID is a reserved keyword. Remember that. I want this to be assigned by the system automatically. If I open Grant should come. If I open Kaya Motors, it should show me Kaya Motors details. That means this ID has to be dynamically associated. Whenever you want to override this ID, we use API. Then I will say @API. If it's public, then only system will be assigning it. Then only system can override the value of ID. Now I will come to my JS meta. First, I will make it to true. Right? True. First, I will make it to true. Right? Then I will say targets. Inside the target, I will say target. Target is what? Where do you want? In record page. I want in a record page. More target. What do you want? In app page, home page, tab page. It is available for app page, tab page. If you remember, this was the checkbox. In Aura, when you create a Lightning component, there was a checkbox available for home page, available for tab page, available for record page. Here it is like target. Targets has a target. Control Shift P. By the way, did I save it? Control S, yes. Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. I'm deploying it. Perfect. Now I come to my Grand Hotel and Resort. I click on Edit Page. I go to my Flexi Page Builder. Lightning App Builder opens up and it shows me the Flexi page. My default design to display Lightning component is a Flexi page. Flexi page is nothing but it is a structure to display Lightning component. So I'm waiting for my Flexi page to come in. Right, there we go. It's coming in. I scroll down. It's still not there. It's loading. Now I'll be able to see my LWC component available here. See, this is the first LWC component which is available for deployment. Earlier I was saying LC_D, LC_D. Now you see 2602 example 2 LDS. My Lightning web component is available for deployment. Where do you want to put? I'm dragging and dropping here. See, I'm placing this component here. There we go, above activity. There it will show LDS Form Based. See, I say save. The ID has to be assigned dynamically now. So I clicked on save. It's saved. Now I go back. You'll be able to see your LWC component appearing in the page. Here we go. It shows Grand Hotel and Resort. Now I go back to my account. I click on Kaya Motors and I should be able to see Kaya Motors. It should be assigning dynamically. That is the use of public. I open, let's say that with what I open Samsung Electricals. Here, see, Samsung Electricals. It's not showing Kaya Motors. Sorry, it's not showing Grand Hotel and Resort. See, it's taking the data, it's taking the ID dynamically. I go ahead and open Burlington Textile Corp of America. It picks up the corresponding data for that ID. How? Why? Because you said ID is record ID API. API is a public. Anybody can override it. So it's overriding it. Right? Now on the same thing, On the same one, right, I will create one more. Lightning card. Lightning card. Title equals to, on the same component. I'm not creating a separate component, okay? Right. Lightning card. Okay, let's do one thing. Why to create a separate card? We have this now. So let me copy this. Control C. Below the record view form, right? I will say record, edit form, paragraph. Now I will use Lightning. Record, edit form. Right. Same thing there also. Record ID. Record ID equals to, I want it to be a public variable. RECORD record ID. Object API name. Object API name is account. From which table? From account table. Always a Lightning edit form will have, right, what is that? LIDHTNING. Lightning input field. The way you're using output field, here I'll use input field like this, right? Field name equals to name. Name. I copy this. How many you need? I just need 3, for example. 2, 3. Name. I will say phone. I'll say industry. See, I'm using the same record ID which I have already declared in my JS, and that's an API. It's a public variable. Control S, Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. It takes little time for it to get reflected in Salesforce Flexi page. You need to have patience. I'm back. I click on account. I open Samsung Electricals. Same component will now have, right? It's still showing what? Lightning record form. It's not showing my edit form, which I've already done. I deployed it. If I deployed it, it should be available here. I need to refresh again. It's still not got deployed. See, I told you, no, it'll take time because this piece is not coming up yet. This is what we are looking for actually, right? We have deployed it to our org. It's the same component that I'm using, right? Either you log off and log in. Let me do this. Let me click on my name, click on log out. CRM1234 hash. Right? Perfect. Never. So I click on setup. I click on view all. Hope that now it's got deployed. Click on sales. I go to my account. I open Samsung Electricals. Hope that it got deployed and I should have to. Yep, it got deployed. You can see here Lightning record edit form where you can go ahead and write something. Electrical spelling is wrong, so we can correct it. Lightning Electricals. Phone number 888. From industry, say drop down biotechnology. Biotechnology. Lightning edit form. Right? Rupam, how to save it? We need to put a button there. We need to put a button. And for button, you need to write what? To save a data, I have to write create record imperation to that button. To save the data, I have to write a program, and that is imperation, which you don't know. Rupam, fine then. Let's do a little bit different. We'll do something new. In this, can you put a button? Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and put a button. LIGHTNING, lightning, right? Oh, lightning button. Lightning button. Label equals to cancel. Label, cancel, or reset. Reset. I want a button called as reset. Whenever you click this button, on click, I want to call a function reset me. Reset me. On click, I want to call a function reset me. Over. I copy this reset me function. I come to my Java controller ES module. Here, I create a function. Reset me. Bracket event. Bracket event. Bracket event. Reset me. How to reset? Keep watching. First of all, you might have changed the data. For example, Samsung Electrical spelling was wrong. I changed the data. Then I changed the phone number. Then I changed the even industry also. I don't even remember what was the industry earlier. I don't remember the phone number earlier now. That is the reason where I'll use reset. It will go back to the original data. How many data we have changed? All. How can I find it here? Keep watching, something different. Whenever you want to declare a variable inside it, constant input input fields fields. I'm declaring a variable const constant input fields equals to this dot template. This dot template. That means template means the component here, HTML. This dot HTML, that means go to the HTML because you're in the controller. From the controller, you're telling this dot template. Dot. In HTML, in JavaScript, we use query selector, QUERY, query selector, SELECTOR, selector. In the bracket, we actually specify the ID. In the bracket, we specify the IDs. I will say query selector all. Select all. Because you might have reset means everything has to be changed. Query selector all. The work of query selector all is that go to the template, find all the elements and select everything. Do you want now if I select everything, that includes my button also. Because that button is also there in that template. Button. Now I don't want the button to be included. Right? I could have some other controls also. Query selector. Then I will say use only. What is that? Lightning input field. Because now in this page, output is also there. It will select even that also. That's the reason I'm defining. I'm saying, okay, use lightning input field only. So all these will be stored and it will be stored in this field. Only where you have lightning input field, only those, right? Only those elements will be selected. Query selector all. Query selector all. Right? Perfect. Now it is a time for us to go ahead and reset it. What is that? Field name. Control C. Dot. Right? There are how many fields are there? More than one fields are there now because you have reset the name, you have reset the phone, you have to reset the industry. So I will say for each, right? What is that? For each, I will say FIELD field. For each field, what do you want to do? For each field, what do you want to do? Here we go. This is the way we write. What do I want to do? I want to reset. What is that? Field dot reset. For each field, dot reset. Reset. Reset is a predefined JavaScript command. Field dot reset. Input. Input is nothing but it will go to the template. It will select all wherever there's a lightning input is there. There are 3. All the 3 will be stored here. Now, input field 3 dot for each 1 by 1. I'll be calling as field, and that field I'm resetting it. Reset. Control S on the keyboard. My command is over. My program is over. Next time when I refresh this, I should be able to get a new button here after I deploy it. I didn't deploy it. Control Shift P, deploy to the source org. Deploy to the source org. Done. You know that refresh is not happening actually, so let's log out. Log out and log in. I should be able to see the button. Log out.
I think we can clear the cache.
What's that?
We have refresh is the icon is there, right?
Oh, how much you do that? It doesn't work. It's better to
We
log off
can
and
do the
the
clear cache. Actually, what we can do, we can right click on clear cache and it will show it, and it won't be. We don't want to every time to close.
Okay. Close it. Never. Setup. Right. View all. Right. Sales. I click on account. I click on Samsung Electricals. I should be able to see a button reset. Now I've changed the name. Right, here we go. I changed the name. Electricals. Samsung. Phone number 888. Industry from electronics by technology. You want to go back to its original status. Reset. See, again it's back to 777 electronics. I change it to biotechnology. My reset button is working. Here is the command.
One question.
Yes.
How that binding will happen? We have to use track decorator, right? From the template.
No, not required. Not required. Any changes, then I'll use track. I'll come to the track decorator later. See now how it's worked then. Without a track also it's working.
Yeah.
So you got your answer by yourself. Theoretical is different, practical is different.
How it is working? Because we have to, from the JavaScript, we have to something like use decorator, right? To make the changes in the template.
What decorator I have used? I have not used any decorators. I'm used only decorator to get the record ID. What binding I require? I don't need any binding here. I'm using query selector all. Go and do a Java research. What is this query selector all? Why you need a binding? When I need a binding, that time I will come to track, right? In JavaScript, what does this query selector all does? Method returns all the element that matches. So here I want to return all the elements that matches to what? Matches to this label, lightning input. It's returning and it's storing here. And then I'm using, why I require a binding? Right? I don't need any binding. Query selector will return all the elements, and that elements will be stored in input field. Now that element, for each, I'm running a loop one by one, treat field, and then I'm saying dot reset. If you again have a doubt, what is this reset? Go to Google, type dot reset, JavaScript. What it will do, you'll see. Right? HTML DOM. Remember that we want HTML DOM only. Method right? Same as HTML word. It's used to clear the values. Reset. I'm not saying dot clear. I'm saying dot reset. Reset goes back to the original data. Always look for DOM based because our is Java script and DOM HTML. So I don't need any @track decorator. Not required. There is nothing to bind. What is there to bind? Returning all the field, one by one going to the field, reset the field. When I call this button, as simple as that. Here's the button, reset button. Call a function called reset me. When the binding concept will come, I will tell you that time to use track. Right? Your document might says that you have to use track, not required. Without track also you can use it. Perfect. Any question?
No.
Right? The last one. What is the last one? Paragraph. Control C. By the way, those who don't know what is track, relax, leave it. When time comes, I will tell you what is why the track is used, where it is used. Lightning record form. No more edit, no more nothing. Lightning record form. The last one. How do you use the lightning record form? Right? So lightning LIDHTNING. Lightning RECORD record form. Here we go. Lightning record form. And now I'm using. Record form have a lot of things. Here also same thing. What is that? Record, I'll copy from here. These two are common anyhow. Along with that, you have to give the layout. You have to give a layout, compact layout, or right, you have to give the mode. You know this. So layout type equals to compact. Right, I'll give compact because now if I give full, then it'll be long, lengthy. COMPACT, compact. Then you have to give the mode. Mode, which mode you want? What are the modes available? View mode, right? View mode, right? Read only mode, edit mode. 3 modes are there. I will say view. What the view mode will do? It will give you a pen icon. When you click on it, it comes to the edit mode. You fill the data, automatically a button will come now. What is that? Save and cancel button will come. Same function what I did cancel, right? Cancel will work as same as this button called reset. Right? Now see, I've used this. Perfect. Control S, Control Shift P, deploy this to the source org. I'm deploying it on the same component itself. Yes, somebody told me that, right? What to do, how to refresh. Somebody was saying some different method.
Like we have left arrow, side arrow is there, right? In there, we can refresh is there.
Where?
In top,
Which?
in top. Samsung electrical something is there, and below we have refresh icon. Refresh icon.
In
Reload icon.
Samsung electrical, where is the refresh icon?
Below.
I'm just trying
in
to
tab,
see.
In below tab, in above tab.
Okay, in the tab, yep.
We have reload icon. Not here.
Then
పైన ఉంది కదండి ఇక్కడ సామ్సంగ్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్స్ కింద
side
arrow, back arrow.
ikkadna where I've selected
URL downloads
URL పక్కన I mean
URL పక్కన this refresh
idena right click ఇవ్వండి
right click on that refresh. Right click is not working.
We have clear cache. It will come just a second.
It's not working. I'm right clicking on it. I'm so many times I'm right clicking on it. But refresh, browser refresh button you're saying. In the browser refresh button, right click, right?
Yes. We have clear cache వస్తుంది మామూలుగా 1 second.
నాకైతే రావట్లేదు.
I will tell you once I miss that one, but I will tell you.
Sure, fine. Meantime, right, he finds out. Let us either I can wait, refresh, or I can log off and log out to get this done immediately. right? The browser button, he's saying that there is somewhere called, right, is there to catch it. So let's see, CRM 1234 hash. Others can check in the browser, in the refresh icon, can you right click? At least I'm not able to do so. Okay. There we go. I'm back. Logged in. Click on App Manager. Right. Click on View All. Scroll down. Sales. Click on Account. Open Samsung Electricals, same thing. Now I should be able to see the third star. Here we go. Did we edit from? Here we go. No. Lightning record form. There we go. See, it's so much big. It's because it's so much big, it's crossed that area. Isn't it? It's come down here. Lightning record. Lightning or lightning, right? Now I can click on edit. See, I can change the data from type to customer direct, electronics to chemical. You can change and you can hit the save button. Save. Same thing, the way it worked where in our Aura. Now it's working here. Now it's working here. All the three. Right? So there you go. View form, edit form, record form. I have all the three coming up here. Lightning record form. Right? Perfect. Lightning record form. Anybody has any questions? Form based. This is what we did in Aura also. Same thing I'm doing here. There's no much change. Tomorrow, we will see this piece, programming based, imperations. Right? Please do not miss this class. Tomorrow, I'll be discussing what is a decorator, what is the structure of a decorator, what are the different decorators available, @wire, @API, @track, what is the use of @wire, how to wire a function, how to wire a property, what is wire a function, what is wire a property, what is imperation, how does the imperation methods are called, what are the limitations of imperation, right? When should we call imperation, when should we call a wire? All these things will be done in tomorrow's class. Your class might get extended tomorrow. So might, if you run out of time, we might extend your class for certain duration, right? So make start, you have your breakfast and then you join the class. That's it for today. I'll stop here. Today, we completed LWC, LDS form based. Along with that, we have seen the basics of how to declare a public variable using @API, right? And then how to use a get variable. Get variables are not used. You can ignore it. Only mostly uses public. What is public API? Right? What is a @API? It makes an element. It makes an element, right? Public. So whenever you want to have a public element, you declare @API. Right? They are used for variables. Okay. Fine. That's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow. Right? Till then, thank you. Have a nice and wonderful day. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Rupa. Thank you, Apam.